Travel photography sounds amazing in theory. Exploring new places with your camera, chasing beautiful light, capturing meaningful moments around the world. But honestly, some photographers spend thousands of dollars traveling somewhere incredible and accidentally make the trip worse because of how they approach photography. I know because I've done it. Years ago, I traveled to Europe for several weeks with Brenda, and we brought way too much camera gear. We were going to shoot a wedding, we were going climbing, we were also doing a hut trip, hut-to-hut hiking, and we convinced ourselves we needed everything. We each had a checked bag, a carry-on bag with camera gear, and a personal item. And it was miserable, dragging through airports, train stations, cobblestone streets. It wasn't helping the experience or help us make better photos. And that's when I learned something. More gear doesn't automatically lead to better travel photography. Sometimes it just creates more stress, more fatigue, and more distractions. So in this video, I want to talk through 10 travel photography mistakes that can ruin your trip and how to avoid them. Because the goal isn't just coming home with great photos, it's actually enjoying the adventure while you're living it. I'm Mark Bergering, and on this channel, we provide photography advice and gear reviews to help you make smarter decisions. Subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's talk through mistake number one, bringing too much gear. I thought more gear would make me more prepared, but what it actually did was make me more tired, less creative, and constantly second guessing my decisions. And this is probably the biggest mistake that I see photographers make. And honestly, I still struggle with the same thing. That fear that if you leave a lens behind, that's gonna be the thing that causes you to miss that perfect shot. And years ago, I traveled for several weeks and absolutely overloaded myself with gear. It may have been the fact that we were going to do too many activities in a multi-sport trip, but it was just overwhelming. We had checked bags, a carry-on bag, and just too much stuff. And I've done that multiple times. The real weight of all that gear is decision fatigue, packing and unpacking. And honestly, I need to watch this video back before I take my next big trip because I'm guilty of it too. Too many choices actually makes you less creative. And instead of seeing moments, you're constantly thinking, should I switch lenses? Should I bring the other camera? Maybe I need the tripod. Now, honestly, I'd rather travel with one camera body, maybe a spare, 2 lenses, some extra batteries, and some cards, and focus on the experience. Now, I tried to do that when we took our last trip a few months ago to the Caribbean, but again, I brought a lot of gear. I also realized that this is such a complex topic and so many people struggle with it. So if you have any tips that I don't cover in this video, leave a comment down below. All right, mistake number 2 is trusting the airline with your camera gear. Never check important camera gear, ever. Airlines, they lose luggage, they throw luggage, they crush luggage, drop it off of handling vehicles, whatever. And if your bag disappears halfway across the world, good luck. The only thing I sometimes check are cheap accessories, maybe a tripod, some clothing, that sort of things. But cameras, lenses, hard drives, batteries, those always stay with me. And this is also why smaller kits are valuable for travel. If your setup is compact enough and comfortable to carry, easy to get on the plane, your life gets way easier. So when you're planning that trip, make sure you check airline carry-on restrictions before you travel. And actually stick to them, because there's nothing more stressful than wondering if you're gonna get singled out for exceeding that baggage restriction. Some international airlines are way stricter about this than US airlines, so stick around to the end because I have a bonus tip for keeping your bags from getting checked at the gate. All right, mistake number 3. Assuming nothing will go wrong, because travel adds risk. There's weather, there's movement, there's theft, there's accidents, lots of things to consider. If your gear matters to you, don't assume everything will work out perfectly. So if you're taking a bunch of expensive camera gear, insurance is definitely worth it. And double check your policy before traveling because some locations aren't covered. This becomes more important as your camera gear gets more expensive. So just make sure that your insurance coverage matches what you're taking on the trip. Mistake number 4. Waiting until the last boarding group. This sounds silly until you're boarding late. Nothing raises your heart rate faster than we're out of overhead bin space and the flight attendant says we need to gate check your bag, which is basically every photographer's nightmare as they carry on a bag worth thousands of dollars. Priority boarding gives you a much better chance of safely storing your gear overhead. Now, lately, Brenda and I have been kind of hacking this by utilizing our children when we take them on trips because you often get family boarding and that allows you to cut the line a little bit. But as the kids get older, that won't be a problem and we'll definitely be considering priority boarding for at least one or both of us. Honestly, if I'm traveling with a bunch of expensive equipment, I often think the extra cost is worth the reduced stress alone. I was a big fan of flying Southwest Airlines in the US, but now they announced that before boarding begins, that the last few boarding groups won't have overhead bin space. So plan ahead and stay out of stressful situations. Travel inspires creativity, unless it's too stressful. All right, mistake number 5 is looking like a walking camera store. One of the easiest ways to attract attention while traveling is looking like you're carrying $15,000 worth of camera gear. And it adds up quick. A couple of camera bodies, a couple of lenses, it gets expensive. So avoid huge branded camera straps, massive backpacks, and gear hanging everywhere. Sometimes being a low profile traveler is much smarter. And it might actually make you prefer smaller bags, neutral colors, simpler camera straps, and compact setups. The less attention you draw to yourself, the better, especially if you're going to crowded tourist areas. It's not such a problem if you're going to a remote national park, but if you're gonna be walking the streets of a big city, definitely a consideration. All right, mistake number 6 is being unprepared for dirt, dust, and weather. This one sounds kind of obvious until you forget to take care of it. You don't realize how important lens wipes, an air blaster, and just some basic cleaning supplies are to travel with. When ocean spray hits your lens or you get dust on your sensor, small problems become big problems when you are thousands of miles from home. So some tiny cleaning kit or supplies can save your entire shoot, and they barely take up any space. So make sure you pack the air blaster, make sure you pack some towels to wipe down your camera gear, and some microfiber cloths. Mistake number 7 is confusing redundancy with overpacking. Earlier, I told you not to overpack, and that doesn't mean traveling without backups. Some redundancy is still important, especially when you're traveling far from home and it's an important shoot, or the place is really important for you to document. At a minimum, I usually recommend extra batteries, extra memory cards, and maybe a second body if it's a really critical or crucial trip that you won't be coming back to do ever again. Because if your camera dies on day 1 of a 2-week trip, it's gonna be rough. The trick is finding the balance between preparedness and overpacking. Packing the right amount is sort of an art, so I recommend starting early and then come back later and see what you can take out of your camera bag. Remember, less is more. All right, mistake number 8, forgetting your charging plan for your camera gear. Being stranded with dead camera batteries is one of the mistakes you only make once. And if you're traveling internationally, make sure you research outlets before your trip. And honestly, I love carrying a compact power adapter with several USB ports to make sure I have a charger for all my equipment. And that's another consideration, is make sure you have enough charging capacity to keep everything juiced up. Hotels never seem to have enough outlets, so if you actually need to charge a lot of camera gear, you're gonna need to plan ahead to make sure you can handle that. I used to carry a small power strip with me or some multi-plug adapters that turn 1 plug into 3 plugs. Whatever it is, you need to make sure that you can charge your camera, your drone, your microphone, laptop, anything that you're bringing with you in an efficient way. Because the last thing you want to have to do is wake up in the middle of the night to switch over the batteries because you didn't bring enough chargers. Trust me, I've been there. Another handy little thing to bring is a power bank. Get one that's at least 10,000 milliamp hours. I think that's a good starting point. I'll link one of my favorites down below, and also some of the power adapters that I like to use that are compatible with international chargers. All right, mistake number 9, having no real backup system. Imagine losing 2 weeks of your favorite images from an incredible once-in-a-lifetime trip. That's why I take backups seriously. You want to maximize protection while minimizing effort. Things can happen, so here's my system for never losing any photos. I never format cards while I'm traveling, so I bring plenty of memory cards. I import to my laptop daily, that's backup number 1. Then I bring 2 SSD drives and back up either daily to those or every few days, depending on the importance of the images. I like the Samsung T7 drives, I'll link some down below, because they're really fast and they're really durable. You can get the extra durable versions of them, that's great. And when I'm traveling, I keep a hard copy of the images on me at all times. And then when I have those SSDs, I can keep a second and third copy back wherever I'm staying. It allows me to focus on creating without worrying if my files are safe. Backup systems can get really complicated and stressful, so just make sure you think it through ahead of time and use that 3-2-1 backup rule. So 3 copies, 2 different types of media, and 1 offsite. That applies while you're traveling and while you're at home. All right, mistake number 10 is letting photography take over the entire trip. Photography can become like an obsession when you're traveling. You start chasing sunrise, sunset, star photos, another location, another shot, and before you know it, you're so focused on documenting the experience that you're barely experiencing it. So no photo is worth getting hurt, losing gear, or creating unnecessary stress for. Travel photography should enhance the trip and create memories that you can go back to, not consume it. Some of my favorite travel memories happened when I put the camera down for a while and simply paid attention to where I was and the incredible experience I was having. And weirdly enough, those moments often lead to a desire to pick the camera back up in the crucial, important moment when it really translates into an experience. So be sure to balance things appropriately. It's tough, especially when you're traveling with a family. And I think that leads to a simpler kit. You simplify the amount of photography gear that you take, and it will lead to less interference between you and the experience you're trying to have. All right, so I wanted to hit you with a bonus tip to keep your bags from getting gate checked. I mentioned that a couple times earlier and how stressful that can be. So if you ever end up in the dreaded situation of a gate agent asking you to hand over your camera bag, my one tip is to kindly inform them that your bag is full of a bunch of small lithium batteries, camera batteries, drone batteries, action camera, power bank, microphones, whatever you have in there. And if it sounds like a major pain to unpack your bag and remove all those little items that aren't allowed to get into the under the plane area, the agent will hopefully move on to the next person in line and ask them to gate check their bag and find space for your bag in the overhead bins. This is somewhat of a last resort, but if you are in that situation, it's something to keep in your back pocket so that you can avoid it. At the end of the day, the best travel photography setup isn't necessarily the most expensive or the most complete. It's the setup that helps you stay creative, mobile, and present. If you'd like to go deeper, Brenda and I put together a travel photography field guide that covers many of the lessons we've learned over the years. I'll put a link down in the description because the goal isn't bringing home photos, it's coming home with memories, experiences, and stories that actually meant something. And if your camera helps you do that, you're doing it right. I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest travel photography mistake you've made? Was it too much gear, not enough backups, something completely different? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're interested in becoming a better photographer, not just buying more gear, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's what this channel is about. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.